Hello, it's Paul once again. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining us for another Talking Music. And today we are going to feature Madonna and Vogue. Now, this is a real standout song. It was a hit back in 1990. And I would say, if it's possible to say this at all, I would say this is one of the three songs that define Madonna's career. Now, I know she's had a career that's twisted and turned. She's reinvented herself a few times along the way. But for me, I'd stick this down as one of the three that really defines her. It was a huge hit for her, turned out to be her biggest ever hit worldwide. And it was a song that was inspired by Madonna herself walking into a club in New York City one night and seeing the dance group, the Extravaganza, voguing. And she looked at them and she thought, wow, what is that? And at around this time, which would have been the beginning of 1990, Madonna was just about the biggest female star in the world, and rivaling Michael Jackson on the world stage to be the biggest star, I would say. And at this time, voguing was a dance craze in the US, popular in the gay communities, where dancers used hand gestures, as shown by Madonna herself in the song's video. And whilst dancing, they often stopped to pose. And after this song and the video that went with it, voguing became even more popular right across the US and in the UK and across Europe as well, which kind of goes to solidifying Madonna's role at the time in shaping pop culture. She was that big. She was really interested when she was watching the dancers, how they would strike a pose and then twist their bodies into strange positions. And her friend at the time, Shep Pettibone, who was a music producer and a DJ, he'd seen this voguing before, and he agreed to work with her on writing a song about this dance phenomenon. And when the song was eventually written, and it didn't take them too long, it was intended as an album track or possibly a B-side. But when it was played to the record executives at Sire Records, they heard it and they thought, oh, this is good. This is good enough easily to be a single. And commercially, her biggest ever hit in terms of worldwide sales. Sales which over the years have crept up to around 6 million. And I think also it's her best dance tune as well. It's a combination of house music beats and strings that go together well. And the song itself pays attention to old Hollywood. The bridge features Madonna. Is rapping the word? I'm not too sure, but Madonna rapping about some Hollywood stars of the 1940s and 1950s. And the truth is, this song in the 70s would have been disco. The lyrics are all about leaving behind your worries and getting on the dance floor and dancing the night away, dancing the blues away. If this song had been released in the 1970s, it certainly would have come under the disco label. And she performed the song Vogue at the 1990 MTV Video Music Awards, which took place in the September of that year, where she and her dancers were clad in, now, I've thought long and hard about how to describe this, and I've come up with 18th century French Marie Antoinette fashions. I hope that makes sense to you. It certainly does to me, but that's the way my mind is working. But the performance, Madonna's performance at those awards, have gone down in history, really. It became an iconic moment in the MTV Video Music Awards. It was classic. It was camp. The news afterwards that went around the world was quite astounding, actually, that a performance on stage could create so many column inches. And it became an inspiration for future performers on the show, a sort of benchmark, as it were, that they could aspire to. At the time of her writing this song, Vogue, which was the early part of 1990, she had been filming with Warren Beatty, the movie Dick Tracy. He played Dick Tracy, and Madonna played a character called Breathless Mahoney. And Beatty asked her to write a song that would fit Breathless Mahoney's viewpoint. And in the film, Breathless Mahoney was someone who came across obsessed with nightclubs and speakeasies and the sleazy side of nighttime life, and also movie stars. And hence the lyrics to Vogue. The song itself has nothing to do with Dick Tracy, but it did feature on the I'm Breathless album, which gave a nod, of course, to her character in Dick Tracy. The lyrics to the song itself, the rapping part, Greta Garbo, Anne Monroe, Dietrich and DiMaggio, the baseball player, of course, Marlon Brando, Jimmy Dean on the cover of a magazine, Grace Kelly, Harlow Jean, picture of a beauty queen, Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, Dance on Air, They Had Style, They Had Grace, Rita Hayworth gave good face. I always have to smile when I hear that. And a nod also to other Hollywood stars, Lauren Bacall, Katharine Hepburn, and Lana Turner, and of course Betty Davis. Yes, not exactly Paul Simon or Chris Christopherson, those lyrics, are they? Especially that line about Rita Hayworth gave good face. You can construe that so many different ways, can't you? All were actors, of course, except for Joe DiMaggio, one of the greatest ever baseball players. Maybe he made it into the list because of the way he posed before a shot, or do you think it's because his name fitted rather well? I wonder. The video itself was shot in super stylized black and white by David Fincher, who went on to direct Alien 3, 7 and Fight Club. And we mentioned them before. It featured the House of Extravaganza, the dance group from New York, who had vogued that night in the club when Madonna first saw them. And on the video, they vogue along with Madonna. She herself in the video looks very Monroe-esque. There are times you see her and you look, is that Marilyn? No, it's Madonna. But she does make herself up to look sometimes very similar to Marilyn Monroe. The word Vogue was en vogue in 1990, and the reason being, because of this song from Madonna, it became very fashionable to use the word. And the magazine Vogue was enjoying a renaissance as well because of this. And I suppose the group En Vogue, the American girl group En Vogue, they probably chose their name, possibly with a nod to what Madonna was doing. The video got a lot of controversy at the time, but she was out to seek and court controversy because 1991 was the year of Justify My Love. Also, you had the erotica music coming along down the line. And you also had Sex, the book. Do you remember those very candid photos of Madonna in all different sorts of poses? So she wanted to shock. And part of the reason why she's been so successful all these years, the most successful female recording star of all time, is because she has reinvented herself, but also she's a great marketer. She knows what works. And very often she's pushed herself into situations that really have got people talking. And I suppose still to this day, if you've got people talking about you, it does mean that you're not being ignored. And I don't think Madonna has ever been ignored. She's made enemies along the way, of course she has, but anyone truly successful, and let's face it, she's right at the top, they're going to have their detractors. But she, of course, is very spunky and resilient again, which is something key. It's a vital ingredient to have if you're going to make it to the top and stay there. And I think when she closes her front door at night, she doesn't give them a second's thought. But in the video, Madonna wore a see-through dress, so was certainly bending the rules. And being the great marketer she is and certainly was back in 1990, she knew ultimately that this would probably work in her favor.
When I did my Vogue video, there's a shot of me where I'm wearing a see-through dress and you can clearly see my breasts. Now they told me that they wanted me to take that out, but I said I wouldn't, and they played it anyways. It is my artistic expression, and for me a video is the filmic expression of the song, you know, a visual that describes what the song is about. I draw the line in terms of what I think is viewable on television. I draw the line with violence and humiliation and degradation, okay? And I don't think any of these issues are evident in my video. That's where I draw the line. That's what I don't want to see.
Commercially, the song has sold 6 million records worldwide and became the world's best seller in 1990. just pipping Sinead O'Connor, and Nothing Compares to You. 500,000 of those sales came from the UK, where it was the 8th best seller of the year. Let's have a look at some charts. It went to number 1 in over 30 countries, and it certainly went to number 1 on the American Billboard charts, taking over the top spot May 19th, 1990. It took 6 weeks to get there, but it made it, and it stayed there for 3 weeks. Progress up the British charts was much quicker. Released at the same time, America and the UK, but it reached the number 1 spot April 14th, 1990. 2 weeks on the chart, into the charts at number 4, then the following week at number 1, and it stayed there for a couple of weeks, taking over the top spot from Snap and The Power. In 2003, Madonna fans voted for their favourite Madonna song in Q magazine, and I think, rather surprisingly, Vogue came 14th on that list. First, as you can see, is Like a Prayer, but 14th. I still stick to my standpoint that I think it's one of the 3 songs that really do define her. And it just goes to show that you never quite know, do you? She got dressed up and made up and went to that club in New York City that night, walked in through the doors, saw the extravaganza voguing on the dance floor. She thought, wow, what is that? And decided there and then that there was a song in what she was seeing. And not only a song, the most successful single she's ever had as an artist. And she's had some, hasn't she, when you bear in mind that she is the number 1 female recording star of all time. That's Madonna and Vogue. And that's it for another Talking Music. Do hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe. If you do that, I would absolutely love it. And if you've liked what you've heard and seen on the video, then please give us a thumbs up, give us a like. So until next time and another Talking Music, I wish you well. Bye-bye.